Give me the next 10 minutes and I'll fix your company page. No order, just the patterns that I see every week. G'day everyone, it's Michelle J. Raymond back again, listeners, to talk all things LinkedIn company pages. Short, sharp, straight to the point. I've been doing a lot of LinkedIn audits for company pages recently, and I've summed it all up into 3 types of company pages that typically I come across. And I'm going to guess that your page falls into one of these 3 buckets. So I'm going to talk about what are the 3 types of pages I see, what are the main problems, and most importantly, how you can fix it. Before we go into the episode, though, today is a very special day. Every episode for the last few years, you've heard me talk about my partners at Metrical who sponsor the podcast. That's coming to an end on this episode, listeners, but that does not mean that I'm not a Metricaler at heart, nor that I don't think that the product is fabulous. All of the details for you to try it out for free for 30 days are in the show notes, so don't forget to go and check it out. To those of you who have trusted me and are now Metricalers like me and using the system to schedule your content, check your analytics, and everything in between, thank you for trusting me. I'm on the hunt for a new partner to sponsor the podcast going forward. So if you happen to be a brand that's listening to this, if you align with my values and you're looking to target B2B marketing audiences or business owners that are responsible for marketing in their business and think we could collaborate, please reach out. But once again, to the team at Metrical, thank you for believing in the podcast. And now, listeners, let's get into the 3 different company page types that I see, the main problems, and most importantly, how we can fix it in under 10 minutes. Let's go. Let's start with the first type of company page that I often come across, and that is the ghost town company page. That's the page that hasn't had any love for a little while, probably been set up at some stage in the past because somebody told them to or they thought it was a good idea. And that page is, effectively been sitting there gathering dust. And there's very little information in there. It certainly hasn't been updated to align with where the brand's at now. The content's few and far between, and ultimately it's zero value to anyone that visits that page. Now, these ghost town pages are the easiest pages to fix. Why? Because it's just going to take a few minutes of your time to go back and put the love into it. Where would I start? In the settings menu, go through, open that up and check all of the menu on the left-hand side, whether it's your details, whether it's your specialty, whether it's your tagline. All of these things are really important, but probably the piece of this puzzle that is most important to get updated with the changes, with 360 Brew and all of the new feed changes, update your about section on your company page. Is it really clear what you do, who you do it for, and what makes your business different? The answer is no. You've got some very simple homework to do. Then we can move on to making sure that the banner really reflects your business as well. Think about it as a billboard. So we're not focusing so much on the content that's going to show up in the home feed, but we want to make sure that if someone lands there, and we have got the stats now, knowing that when people are ready to buy, they not only check out individual profiles, they're also going to the company page for that last final check before they reach out. So easy updates, put some love back into it. You know what you've got to do. You've just been putting it off. So how about for this episode, this is your homework to go and put the love back into your page. The second type of company page that I come across in these audits, I'm going to call the internal newsletter company page. And this can be spotted by a quick flick through the content that occurs on this company page and also the setup. This page only talks about the business. It's all about me, 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 me. And you'll see it. It will be the new starter has just come. So there'll be the obligatory post. We're coming to this trade show, the obligatory post. You will see that the about section only talks about the company. We were set up in 1975 and we're amazing and we're in 25 locations. Your readers are just, basically looking at this stuff and thinking, I don't care. Like, honestly, do you really care when a business was established? And I get that there's some heritage brands out there, and, I can't just talk in blanket statements on the podcast that this applies to everyone. But think about it as yourself when you are consuming content on a company page. Do you really care about all of these things? Or are you looking for some kind of value that solves a problem that you have, helps you get closer to your goals? Now, this is probably the easiest fix ever, except sometimes it means you have to say no to your colleagues. And that is easier said than done. And I think that that's probably the biggest fix in these types of newsletter company pages, because they start off one by one. One colleague comes up and says, "Hey, can you please post this?" And you, wanting to be a good team player, say yes. It's only one post after all. But then what happens is the next person comes up and asks you to do the same thing. And again, you want to be a good team player and work with your colleagues, so you say yes. But little by little, post after post, one little request after another, you've drifted off course. And all of a sudden, that beautiful strategy that you wrote, that LinkedIn strategy that you spent so much time making sure that it was right, is out the window. And now your company page just looks like, as I said, a newsletter. Quick fix. You know what you've got to do. Get back to your strategy, but it may mean saying no to some internal people. Do you struggle with that? Let me know in the comments if you do. The third type of company page that we are going to fix in under 10 minutes today is the product dump company page. And these can be easily spotted because all you do is talk about features and benefits of your products over and over and over again. And this especially happens when a business has lots and lots of different SKUs or products available, and all of them have amazing features, and you want to tell the world about it. The only problem is, so do your competitors. And as far as, is this content engaging when you're scrolling the LinkedIn feed? I don't know, maybe a little bit if it's a new release of an Apple product or something to that effect, which is top of mind for me right now because I've seen a lot of posts like that. But realistically, why should someone care about those features and benefits is far more important than what they are in most cases. Now, think about it. You still can talk about those features and functions, but switch things up and create them in service of the person on the other side. So if it is somebody that's in a technical role, and I've had this conversation recently with a client, we're switching things up to make sure that we are leading with why their ideal audience should care about this feature or function. This way, you tick the boxes internally, but you most importantly get their attention. It is far better for a page to talk about one or two products and one or two benefits for each of those products over and over and over again, instead of spreading yourself so thin and talking about 50 different products, 50 different features, and basically that doesn't land in anybody's memory. It is really hard to recall and certainly doesn't distinguish you from your competitors. So think about it. If you were only allowed to sell, let's say 3 products, and you were only allowed to pick one feature or benefit for each of those 3 products, what would you pick? They need to be your priority, aligned with your business goals. So it's, again, easier said than done because everybody in the business will have goals for what they want to push based on their own agendas. But this really needs to align with your business goals and go back and say, where are we trying to head? What are we trying to achieve? Who's our ideal client? And go hard after that instead of trying to be everything to everyone. There we go, listeners. I've fixed 3 of the most common types of problems that I see with LinkedIn company pages based on the audits and strategy sessions that I'm doing, all of the pages that I'm reviewing in my research and clients that I'm working with. They are the 3 main types. So we've got the newsletter, the product dump, and the ghost town. Which one of those pages can you relate to most importantly? And what are you going to take away that you can go and do with your page to fix things up? Because often you'll find that page success comes back to getting back on track, going back to that LinkedIn strategy that I know you're smart marketers and have already probably established somewhere, but keeping things on track instead of being dragged in every direction by different colleagues is a skill that will solve most company page problems that are out there. So if you're having some trouble keeping things on track, or not sure whether you've drifted off course, or you want to understand whether your page actually resonates with your target audience from an outsider's point of view, not someone like yourself that's so close to things, then of course, reach out and let's have that conversation, because podcast listeners, you are my favorite clients to work with. We are on the same page. You know I'm here to support you. And I am just having so much fun helping my clients right now discover what's holding their page back. And hint, it's not the LinkedIn algorithm, giving them a concrete set of actions that they can take with confidence to align with their business goals and really achieve that return that people are looking for. So if that sounds good to you, you know where to find me. All the details are in the show notes. And that's me, listeners. 3 problems solved. And that's me done for this week, listeners. So until next week, cheers.